Hey everybody, Tal Golden here with the Deep Zone at the Deep Dot Zone, where symbol and number meet the heart and mind. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is this guy right here, Walter Benjamin. I'm going to talk about the idea of him being a satanic martyr. Now, we've heard, of Christian martyrdom, this sort of thing. People that believe so strongly in the Christian faith that they die for their beliefs. They're willing to die, and they end up dying for the beliefs rather than betray, their faith. So, the picture I created here for this presentation, you got the Jesuit, symbol, of course, with the three nails and the IHS and the sun rays, and we got some devil horns around it because that's what they are. I got this wizard guy right here, and he's got the Illuminati eye right here. The world's splitting apart, being torn asunder by all these divisions created in politics by these Illuminati groups in the background. In Germany, about the time that Walter Benjamin was around. These guys, he was a member of the Frankfurt School. If you've ever heard of the Frankfurt School, you probably know what I'm about to say. These guys were hardcore communists, but they were sneaky, because they didn't really go in for for the full frontal assault, kind of like the Fabians, but even more determined than them. The Fabians were willing to wait longer. They wanted results quickly, the Frankfurt School, but they went about it like the Fabians did. working behind the scenes with a well-trained, initiated, illuminated elite. Working, conspiring in the background to bring about revolution. That's what Walter Benjamin and the Frankfurt School was all about. So, and that's why I've got this guy, the yellow vest dude, with his one eye salute, right here. I mean, they put it on there for you to see, and people still fall for it anyway. So yeah, the yellow jacket, movement in France, no doubt, one of the Jesuits' creations. Okay, so. A lot of what we're seeing nowadays is called critical race theory. If you go to my site, the Deep Dot Zone, you can click on all these links. When I do a blog post, I try to put my sources on there. I may not have a bibliography down at the bottom, but I'm going to give you a link so you can go and check out where I found out about this information, and keep the conversation going. Anyway, so. That's what this story's about right here. Satanic martyrdom in the network of the Illuminati, the Jesuits, the Masons, these high-level academic groups, that work in secret, to create the theoretical framework, for the overthrow of society. Yeah, that's what these people are about, the overthrow of society. Willie Mutzenberg, class act himself, a fellow scholar of Benjamin's. This is what he had to say about this. You don't believe me that he said this? You can look it up right here. We must organize the intellectuals and use them to make Western civilization stink. Wow. Only then, after they have corrupted all its values and made life impossible, can we impose the dictatorship of the proletariat. That's code for the New World Order, by the way. The dictatorship, the proletariat, going back to Marx. Anyway, now the Frankfurt School guys, Walter Benjamin included, they believed in the Hegelian dialectic, where you got a thesis, the status quo. It's got, any society's got problems. So some society's got more problems, but it's, it works on some level, okay? But you have these guys coming along, the Frankfurt School and others, who, with this critical theory, when that's what critical theory is, just like it says, you criticize all of the injustices, the weak points of any society, and just hammer away at it, and you will bring it down eventually, okay? Or you'll make the other side, you'll make the people cave in. And give in through fear, through greed or whatever. Whatever you got to use. To get your synthesis, which is closer to where you want to go, total control of the world. But you got to get there step by step. So the thesis, antithesis, synthesis, that creates a new thesis, a new status quo, that's got to be ripped out with another antithesis, and you have another synthesis. It just goes on and on and on. And that's exactly that's the way these guys like it, okay? Going on and on and on, because that's what's going to get them there. The dictatorship of them, not the proletariat. Of course they're going to say that, but It's the New World Order, any way you look at it. Okay, now, official history tells us that Walter Benjamin, he committed suicide in northern Spain, right there on the coast of the Mediterranean. So he was trying to get away from the Nazis. I'm going to diverge just for a moment here. So, because if you've never heard of Walter Benjamin, which I'm sure most of you have not, this is interesting right here. Now his friends, Theodore Adorno, he's got a difficult name. This other guy, Horkheimer, and some others, they got ran out of Germany, and they set up shop again at Columbia University. And the Frankfurt School is still around. It may be called something else now, but it's still located there at Columbia University. There was no teaching post for Walter Benjamin. No, he had to tough it out, trying to get out of France because the Nazis were hot on his heels. At that time, France was ruled by the Vichy government, who collaborated with the Nazis. All right, so Walter Benjamin would have ended up in a concentration camp, probably tortured to death. Naturally, he did not want to go along with that, so he commits suicide to get away from Hitler. Stalin comes into this, but that's the official story, okay, that he committed suicide by taking morphine tablets to get away from having to go back to France and face the Nazis there because of Hitler. All right, now, that's the official story, but did Walter Benjamin commit suicide for another reason? You know, from his point of view, a higher purpose, satanic rebirth, satanic martyrdom. Because when you look at his numbers and everything and what they did for him, they created this monument called Passages. I'm going to go down here. It's just, you know, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I want you to see it, what I'm building up to. All right, let me get it here. Here we go. That's it. This is the monument that they constructed for Walter Benjamin. It's not much, really. I mean, it's steel plate, iron plate. It's rusty, and there's the passageway, 87 steps. They don't tell you why on the program. That's on their website. They don't tell you why there's 87 steps, but I'm going to show you why in just a moment. 87 steps that go down, right into the cliff right here, through the rock, and at the end of the 87 steps, they've hewn another hole with a glass, window right there, and you can look out into this eddy, that is down below where there's an inlet, and there's a whirlpool. And Donnie Caravan, the guy who created this artwork, that's what he saw in Walter Benjamin. That's the eternal turbulence, the satanic figure that was never happy with anything, that was always rebelling against something, no matter how it may affect the rest of the world. I mean, it's got to be destroyed. That's the kind of guy that Walter Benjamin was. I mean, I know he's a hero, to these communists, but there's a reason he's a hero, because he was all for tearing it down and going quick about it. So this is the monument that they made for. It's going down. That's the thrust of it. It's not making you look up. You're looking down. Well, what is Satanism all about? It's about pulling down the energy, down to the earth, down below the earth. That's where they're going. Okay, you see this turbulence when you get down to the bottom 87 steps. It's also shaped like triangles. Okay. There's two triangles, one on this side and one on the other side. And here's the door that you go through to get to the passageway. We'll look at it again here in a little bit as we move along through this. All right? I just had to show that to you. All right, let's move along here. Let me go back up here. Okay, we talked about what the Frankfurt School was all about. Let's talk about Walter Benjamin a little bit. He was born on July 15th, 1892, in Berlin, Germany. Now, he died September 26, 1940. At the age of 48, okay? Now, for those of you that know about gematria, 48 is an important number because that's the Illuminati number. Illuminati equals 48 in reduced gematria. Walter Benjamin died at age 48, and that's not the only connection. We're just getting started here, okay? But let's look at the date numerology, okay? September 26, 1940, the day he died, was a day with 94 full numerology. That's where you, if you have a date that's from 10 to 31, okay, like 26 here, you keep that number together, okay? So you're adding 9, 26. you keep the the year dates together, the century, and then the teen year, the teen and 1 years right here. So 1940, okay, the century, the 20th century, so it's going to be 19 there. All those together equal 94. All right. Now, if you use life lesson numerology, where you keep the the date together, all right, the day of the month together, and all the other numbers are flattened out, okay, that's going to equal 49. All right. Keep that in mind. It's also a day that has 96 days left in the year. That's important too, but we'll move along. All right. Now, Benjamin. The word Benjamin, reverse full reduction, okay, that equals 49. He dies on a date with 49 numerology. Now, that does happen a lot, okay? It happens to people, that are not famous. I mean, like they don't have any notoriety. This kind of comes up from time to time. So, is it just something weird in the matrix? I mean, like in the organic matrix that we all live in, or is there something more to it? I think there's something more to it, because we're just getting started, as I was just saying. The word Antichrist equals 49. Now, Walter Benjamin saw himself as a satanic figure. We're going to look at some of the things he had to say, in his own writings. Not a whole lot, but just enough for you to give you an example. Benjamin equals 49. Antichrist 49. Now, get this. Benjamin, in English ordinal, that's adding up the letters, 1 through 26, A to Z, the simplest form of gematria, 68. Antichrist equals 68. And as I said, we're just getting started here. I'm going to skip at it for right, but look, that's all there is about Walter Benjamin. There's no other pictures of him with the family or anything like that. The guy was an agent. All right, moving on. Walter Benjamin was born July 15, 1892. Now, from the anniversary of his death, okay, till the day he died, his birthday on July 15, 1940, okay, to the day he died, September 26th, that was a span of 73 days. We see this a lot, with deaths, of people of note. 73 often comes up quite a bit, and there's a reason for that, as we're going to see. Now, official history tells us that Benjamin, died from suicide by taking morphine tablets. That's probably something to that. But look at this. The Jesuit order, their signature is on this numerically. 177, 69. It kind of breaks up in reverse ordinal, but it picks back up again with 84 in the reverse full reduction. I got to say right now that the word Jesuit, and just this, in the simplest form of gematria, equals 84. So morphine tablets, the Jesuit order, we can see how that plays in together. Now, this is kind of diverging a little bit, but you'll see the reason for this. Now, the people that put this together, the monument and the film for Walter Benjamin, they bring in the name Stalin. They think that it was Stalin and his henchmen that wanted Benjamin dead more than Hitler, because the Frankfurt School, their brand of communism was a lot different from Stalin. Stalin was, he was in charge. He didn't want anybody messing it up for him, least of all someone like Walter Benjamin. So maybe he did send out his henchmen. That's certainly what happened to Trotsky, because he was assassinated in Mexico City that same year in 1940. So I haven't really looked at that relationship either, but that did happen, so there is reason to suspect that. Now, I have not seen this film, but look at this. It's 73 minutes long, which goes right along with the idea of sacrifice, a satanic rebirth, a willing sacrifice, which is in their view of things, that is the highest sacrifice. And a willing victim, that's hard to come by, so it's special. Anyway, talking about Stalin here. Now, Stalin, he was Jesuit educated. He admits that himself. It's recorded history. He says he didn't like the Jesuits, but, of course he's going to say that. Now, you can see that he used the tactics that the Jesuits, teach, and that's, you just take on whatever form you need to reach the people you're trying to reach, or the ones you're trying to enslave. You make them think that you're one of them. which is exactly what Stalin has done here. He's appropriated the imagery of the Russian Orthodox Church, by putting a nimbus around his head like he's a saint or something. Give me a break. But look at this. Jesuit, it equals 21. Stalin equals 21. Jesuit equals 42. Stalin equals 42. And by the way, the word Russia also equals 42. So we could see a connection there. Now, what about the Jesuits and communism? How deep is that? Is that connection? Well, look at this. This altar piece right here, this is a painting of Ignatius Loyola, and he's presenting, oh look, he's presenting his red flag, his flag of revolution to this Christ figure up here, okay? Now, you could put a swastika on it, you could put a hammer and sickle on it like the Russians did, you could put some stars on it like the Chinese communists did. Hey, it's all, it's all about, murdering as many people as you can and taking over. It doesn't matter. Now, get this. Now, this is something, that'll give you pause. This altar piece, this painting, was stored away in a basement somewhere just before all of these revolutions start taking place, the modern revolutions of the 20th century. The flag is put away. But now they brought it back out again because they feel safe enough, because people don't read that much anymore. They feel safe that that no one's going to really say a whole lot about this obvious prototype for communism, Nazism, whatever you like. All the things the Jesuits have been accused of through the centuries, fomenting revolutions, toppling governments, inciting violence. We see it right here, in the symbolism. All right. Now, I'm going to skip this right here about the first. If you want to read it, you can go to the blog post. Benjamin, he died in the region known the mountain range between France and Spain. That mountain range is called the Pyrenees. That is exactly where Ignatius Loyola himself came from. He came from the from the the western end of the Pyrenees, in the Basque country, okay? The town of Loyola, in the eastern Pyrenees. Walter Benjamin met his end in the western Pyrenees, but the gematria does tell us something, because Benjamin equals 49, the Pyrenees, which is, as it's referred to, not Pyrenees, the Pyrenees, it equals 49, tying back to our life lesson date of the death of Walter Benjamin. Now get this, okay? The very next day, the next full day after the death of Walter Benjamin, the Satanic sacrifice of Walter Benjamin, on September 27, 1940, that was the day that the tripartite pact was signed between Nazi Germany, Imperial Japan, and Fascist Italy. You can see that they're all celebrating, having a great time right here, with their flags and all this jazz, like we were talking about earlier. All right. Now, what about September 27th? Well, that was the day in 1540, 400 years earlier, that was the day that Pope Paul III, recognized the Jesuit order and made them defenders of the faith. They're basically the quarterbacks of the Counter-Reformation. Anything that went against the church, any political ideas or religious ideas that were heretical, like Protestantism, humanism, the Jesuits were given authority to go after, and also they were given authority over the New World to enslave as many. Spain and Portugal were given that authority. The Jesuits followed in their wake, and they used that authority, to do their own thing, which was experimenting with communism, in the jungles of South America. If you ever seen the movie Mission, that stars Rob De Niro, you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, now moving along here with Walter Benjamin. He was born on July 15, 1892. That is a day with 42 numerology. Jesuit, as we were talking about earlier, has 42 numerology. Get this. Portbou, Spain, where he died, is on the 42nd degree of longitude. Okay, it's on the 42nd parallel. That's right. Moving along. Walter Benjamin has 231 gematria. 231 is the 21st triangular number, which means if you add up the numbers 1 through 21, you'll have a sum of 231. So Walter Benjamin's name in reverse ordinal equals 231. All right. So we see that that the span of days between his birthday and the day he died, 73 days. The 21st prime number, 231 is the 21st triangular number. Jesuit equals 21. All right. Now here's something we were talking about: the double triangle shape of passages. Okay, now get this: 231 is a double triangular number. That's because it's the 21st triangular number, and 21 itself is a triangular number. Now, here's another number that you know. 666, 666, it is a 36th prime number. And 36 is also a prime number. It's the 8th triangular number. So both those numbers, very rare in mathematics, double triangular numbers. Double triangles on Walter Benjamin's monument, passages. Okay? The symbolism is pretty clear right there once you understand how they're doing this. All right, let me, okay, I was up here. Now I'm going to skip this about Paul Klee. You can check it out if you want. I want to get more into gematria and the date numerology, because that's what we're focusing on here. All right, the full numerology. Once again, 94. His friend Gershom Schlom, who wrote the article, that I got linked right here, he said that Walter Benjamin was practically worshipped by young Marxists, students, as being a Marxist rabbi. Yeah, rabbi equals 94 in Jewish gematria. Okay, it's another widely used form of gematria. It's probably the most important one outside the 4 base ciphers that I was discussing. Now, the word 94 has some special things about it. Equals 147 and 57, and the word conspiracy equals 147 and 57. Like I said, Walter Benjamin, the Frankfurt School were all about conspiracy. They write about it openly. 123 and 51, that's the values in reverse for 94. Conspiracy with the alphabet frontways, full gematria of 123, reduced gematria of 51. All right, so 94 is the special number because it reveals something in gematria, and when it's used like this, especially as a date for satanic sacrifice, a chosen date for satanic sacrifice, it plays in even more strongly, as we're finding out. Okay, all right. Now, let's talk about Walter Benjamin's, hero, Blanqui. Now, he was also all about. Hold on, let me stop this and grab this. Hold on. Okay, back to talking about Blanqui. Yeah, Blanqui was he was active in the 19th century. He was always the one. Well, he was in prison, quite often, for being a man of action. He was the one that was on the barricades, rallying the troops, organizing and training, the Revolutionary Army. That's the type of thing he was into. He wanted to arm as many Marxists as he could, and to work in secret behind the scenes until the time was right. But see, he couldn't wait till the time was right. That's what the communists, say his drawback was. But nevertheless, Walter Benjamin saw this guy as a hero. And when we talk about the monument that they built for him, Blanqui comes into this too. Now stay with me here, okay? Now, the anniversary of Walter Benjamin's death, just before the dedication of the monument that took place on May 15, 1994, the anniversary of his death was 9/26/1993. Now, from that day, okay, just before the monument was dedicated, a span of 231 days, our double triangle once again. 231, the value of Walter Benjamin, okay, in reverse ordinal. Oh, you're saying, well, I mean, that can no. We're going to keep on going here because look at Blanqui. Now, Blanqui, he died on New Year's Day, New Year's Day, 1881. Now, on the anniversary of his death, Okay, 114 years after. Okay, that was the 114th anniversary of his death. From that time of the dedication, May 15th, 1994, 231 days. Okay, Louis Auguste Blanqui equals 114, which matches with the 114th anniversary of his death in 1881. There's no way that this is an accident. Let's keep going. A little bit farther right here, I'm going to wrap it up. September 26, 1993 was a day with 147 numerology, full numerology, and a day with 57 numerology, lifeless numerology. All right? Walter Benjamin, when you add up the numbers, English ordinal and 57, it matches perfectly with the date numerology. Reverse matches up perfectly with the other things I just showed you. Okay? Passages, that was very carefully chosen. Okay? The name of the artwork, 87. It matches with Walter Benjamin's gematria, and it also matches with the 87-step staircase. That's your chosen number right there. Okay. Now, like I said, they don't tell you in the program that's online. If you look at the links, you'll see what I'm talking about. They don't tell you why. I had to do that for you. Okay. But anybody can find this stuff out. Okay. Passages also equals 48. That is a match with the year, or excuse me, how Walter Benjamin's age. Okay, he died at age 48. Illuminati equals 48. And as we were talking earlier, the idea of satanic sacrifice, satanic rebirth, this is pretty speculative, but, you know, look at what happened when I went along this line thinking. Satanic rebirth equals 147. Walter Benjamin equals 147. Satanic rebirth equals 231. Walter Benjamin equals 231. All right? The day that Walter Benjamin died leaves 96 days in the year. Satanic rebirth equals 96. Satanism equals 96. The artist who was commissioned, Donnie Caravan, his name also equals 96 in gematria. I think that's enough connections to establish, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that Walter Benjamin was indeed a satanic martyr for the Illuminati. This is Tal Golden, the Deep Zone, where symbol and number meet the heart and mind. Until next time.